Okay.
All right, since we're heading down the rabbit hole here of tuning a little bit,
Okay.
the um, what was I just about to start with? Where was I going now?
The octaves. The
Okay,
octaves are doublings.
okay, yeah, yeah. So um, we then have to split an octave into smaller. We need smaller increments. We need other notes than just notes that are an octave apart, right?
Right.
And when I play a low E, if I stop that string from ringing, there's still a lot of sound coming out of the guitar. Other notes are getting activated.
Hmm.
And those are what are called overtones of this. And each overtone is actually the same frequency doubled, tripled, quadrupled. It's multiples now of that frequency.
Okay.
So when I hit this note, it's about 80. It's also producing a note that's 160, which is this E. Well, then it's producing a note that is 240. That turns out to be this B.
Right.
And then it's also producing a note that's 320, which is the next E, because now it's a multiple of the 80 I started with.
Right.
Okay, so each of these overtones is the next multiple of whatever the frequency was.
Okay.
And as those get up into the sixth or seventh or eighth one, those are all notes that we want to have in our scale accessible because they all sound good kind of together. So it's really worked out best, or the way it's worked out, I guess, for us in the West here, is an octave has been split into 12 smaller parts, 12 things that we now call half steps,
Yep.
right? And but because this whole overtone series, if all those half steps should not be equal. Some of them should be bigger and some of them should be smaller in order for everything to be based on how the frequencies work of these overtones.
Yeah.
And but by making them all the same, we we kind of alleviate the problem of, well, I could tune my guitar so that it only sounds good in the key of E, but then if I play a D chord, it's going to sound like crap. And that's even the case that we have now. If if I tune this B string, like I brought it up a little bit, that's an in tune fifth. It was flat a minute ago, but my tuner said it was in tune.
Right.
Okay, now I've got this octave here. That's a little flat too. So here I've got my E to E, an octave, and then E to B. And that has a really blended sound. I mean, those things are really sounding good together. But now if I play my D string and my D note here, I had to alter that a little bit to make it in tune. It's like, oh, that's not quite.
Yeah. Yeah.
There it is. Now so it's an inexact science is the tuning of the only instruments that could actually do this without much of a problem are fretless instruments. And because you're not restricted to the half step quantization that we have here.
Right.
And so a violin, for example, if they were playing a B flat in one key, the key of E flat, where it's note 5, and then
Yeah.
maybe in a different key, that note actually might be in a slightly different spot. It
Right.
might need to be a little higher or a little lower to feel like it's in tune. So fretless instruments are the closest we can come to being able to do this. Um, I guess it's called mean tempered tuning, meaning it's built around one note and one key,
Okay.
as
Okay.
opposed to equal tempered. All right, but
Okay.
go.
Well, that's going to send me down a farther hole to look up
Yeah. So we
the
better get.
determination of the mathematics of the spacing of frets, but we'll save that for another time.
Actually, you know what? I can give you a 30-second story on that.
Okay.
I got a length of string here,
Yeah.
and in order to change it a half step,
Yeah.
I have to change the length of the string.
Yeah.
I have to shorten it, right?
Right.
approximately, I have to make it 17/18 of its previous length. So my 25-inch string here,
Yeah.
if I cut it into 18 parts and take off 1/18 of it, I've got a note that's a half step higher.
Okay. And
Well,
then from that point to make the next one, then you do the same calculation.
got to be 17/18. It's not exactly that, but that's roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
each
that's
one
always
is
going to be getting
17/18 of the previous one, right?
right. It's going to be getting smaller all the way down to here.
Yeah, and so when we cut the string in half, when we get to the 12th fret,
Yeah.
we've cut the string in half, which has created an octave because it's doubled the frequency.
Okay.
So get that a vibrating string. If you cut the length in half, it'll vibrate twice as fast,
Right.
and that's what that gets us this octave.
Yeah.
So if I had 24 frets, my 24th fret would be about here.
Yeah.
That's where the next E would be. It'd be halfway between here and here,
Okay.
right? There it is. I can get a harmonic there.
You can do a harmonic. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the same harmonic you'd get at the 5th fret because it's the same distance. This is a quarter. I'd need to be a quarter from here, which would take me to about here. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay.
okay. Let's play.
Okay.
Let's have you play something though.
So here we go. I'm reading well, we're working on "Wish You Were Here" on the solo thing, which I'm working on, and so Monday morning paper, I read the review of Roger Waters. Um,
Yeah,
you probably read the same one.
I did. I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, that referred to his. You got to be ready to hear the whole political spectrum from
Right.
Waters' point of view. I don't know anything about him, so or other than Pink Floyd, um, and so I don't know if that's always been the case. But in any event, um, when the when the reviewer is going down through the various set list and all, um, I'm just trying to remember out of the air what all those songs sound like.
Huh?
And so the thing that caught my eye was brain damage, and I
Yeah.
said, "Well, brain damage. I should be able to remember that because I think we tried that
I
before."
think so.
and so and so I did, um, and and out of that came a couple of complications that I can't quite figure out how to work on.
Okay.
So one being, well, and one big reminder. So I know the this is one of my complications. Anyway, in that the confusion or what when I'm trying to remember how to do or train myself to do is to go from here
All right.
to I know what the note is, and I looked up and saw how you played it, which was here,
Right.
and that for whatever reason is it may just be I ought to do this about 400 times and I learned how to do it that way. But
Yeah.
when I come back here, my hand wants to go either here or even here, which is more comfortable.
And either of those would be okay. The only reason I would use my second finger is because it's right there already on that string, on the
Oh yeah,
previous.
moving back from here. Yes.
Right. Right. Um, but but there's no reason that you shouldn't be comfortable playing an A7 with your third finger there with the bar, you know, just as
Right.
well. So if that's whichever one you want to pursue, that's fine. Yeah, like if that looks more feels more natural.
Yeah, but just bringing it back, it's already in the right spot, sort of. It's more of just, a function of getting my wrist in the right position, I suppose,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah. Which definitely is going to be a little different because you're making a bar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, something we should talk about though is the accuracy of your right hand on each of these chords because when it goes, so when you're doing the D pattern and which also happens for the E chord, you're only using two fingers
Right,
and your thumb, right?
right,
But now on the other chords, the G7 and the A7, it should be three fingers.
right. I should be here.
Yeah, and what happened when you first got to the G, you weren't clearly getting to the second bass note on the fourth string. You were kind of covering over to the third string.
Oh,
Yeah, try that again. Let's hear it.
yeah. Okay, it should be.
Almost, yeah.
I feel like I'm still missing something there.
You are because what's happening is so now each of these three fingers has to be like lined up with one of the top three strings,
Yeah,
right? So the pattern should sound like that. What's happening is you're getting this note twice. You're getting it at the beginning and at the end. It should be this. Your second finger should be hitting the second string as the last finger in there, and you are using your second finger there, but it's getting the first string. You're doing this. Okay, so keeping those fingers a little closer to the strings down here, so the accuracy is really precise with each note. Let's hear that pattern. Not quite. Don't. You're not going to play your third finger again. Your third finger only does the pinch.
oh, okay, okay.
That last one. That was right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So as you pick through this tune, your right hand has to change positions whether you're in the D world or the other worlds. The other world
Right.
means you've got six or five in the bass, and the
Right.
second bass note is always going to be the fourth string. Then,
Right. And
okay,
so, yeah, the A7 is here too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of times you've been hitting the fourth string in the bass there too.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah. Only one time. with
Yeah.
that, right? Yeah. Wow.
That was it. Yeah.
So here. Okay.
So really work on get that really precise. So here as on the D in particular, it's the last two notes of each pattern that are a little sketchy. Sometimes it'd be the last finger, which should always be this finger,
Right.
and the last thumb sometimes gets a little weird too. And so you want to make sure that on the D it sounds like this, and this is good. You got the D. But now when I go to the G7, I have to reorient this hand here and go into three finger mode and make sure that my thumb doesn't do this and end up here, right? So it's got to be this. And now I have to shift it again to get back. You probably didn't notice that I just hit a wrong bass note there while I was talking and going back to so I finished my G chord. and didn't get this last bass note here. I got it here because I'm getting ready to get into D mode, you know, and it set me up for there. And plus, I was trying to talk at the same time, but I shouldn't have made that mistake. Anyway, so yeah, I come out of the G, and now I end up hitting the same bass note twice in a row because the last bass note, right? Okay. Then I'm back to this, and the G7 again. Switch fingers down here. Now I have to shift it again. I keep that same pattern because I'm still on the fourth string of the bass. But now I have to shift the whole thing again and land this pinch with this finger and this finger there on the A7. And I have plenty of time to do that. When I come out of this, I come out of this chord. All I need to do is get this note clean and then worry about that bar.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, because it's the open A that we're going for here.
Right. Right.
So
So that buys us a little buffer zone there.
and so
Yeah. Except for one more thing.
okay, but then I have to remember to okay.
Should
Yeah.
have changed
So
your right hand fingers too.
yeah, got to do.
That's okay. That's all right.
You have to multitask here. All of this stuff. Oh, come on. And now my okay. Gotta recalibrate here. Put my arm to sleep by pinching it too much there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's
get the idea though. You can see how to practice this, right?
oh, this is okay. Yeah, it's just one fret.
Right.
It's just one fret. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm okay. I'm
No,
overthinking this. Yeah.
you're thinking about an A chord. Like you're thinking about, oh, I got to get to an A chord. I got to get way out of here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
That's it. Better. That was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Well, those are okay. That's the practice thing.
Yeah. And that's a song I really like to have people work on in the finger when they're in the in the finger picking world, because you pretty much have to do all the three main pattern, the three different things you have to do with your right hand depending on what bass notes you have
Right.
are all in that song. You know, we got the D position, the the G or the sixth string position for G, and the fifth string position for
Right.
A. And so you have to make all those little adjustments
Yeah.
continually through there, and not take it for granted that if I just keep swinging away, it's going to sound fine. You know, it's like we really want it to be
Yeah.
perfect is the goal with that. I rarely say that, but
Yeah.
that's
Well, yeah. And the accuracy across those all those transitions there is really important there.
yeah.
Um, then we get to the strumming section here,
Okay,
which is we're strumming without a pick here.
right.
Yeah, so we're going from the very last D, and then it goes to here.
Yeah,
Right. Okay, and it It's a mistake. I didn't want to be there, did I?
No, that was okay.
Is it okay to, for whatever reason, my hand wants to go to four fingers or that?
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay in this case. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and the strumming, it seems like you got the hang of that strumming. It's sounding really good, right? And I call that the ballad strum because it's typically used in slower songs. But
Yeah.
what distinguishes it is we don't hear anything on the second beat, nothing
Right.
on beat two, and so it really makes you feel like it's in cut time. You really feel beats one and three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Like I'm only tapping two beats in the measure, one. I'm tapping the half notes rather than the quarter notes,
Yeah.
right? And so
Right.
that's what we describe as cut time. So cut time in music, as opposed to common time, they both have four quarter notes in a measure. But
Yeah.
the time signature for for common time is 4/4, and that means four quarter notes in a measure.
Okay.
Simple, right? And that just means we're counting the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut time, the signature is 2/2. That means two half notes in a measure. Well, obviously the math is the same.
Yeah.
I can still have four quarter notes in a measure of cut time.
Right.
And matter of fact, if I pulled a measure out of the middle of the song and was asked what time it is, I'd say, hey, it looks like 4/4 to me. Oh, it's cut time. You missed. It was 2/2. So there's no way to tell by looking at a measure. But
Okay.
but the difference is what you're feeling as am I feeling two beats per measure or four beats per measure? So that's the cut time feel, is I feel two slow beats rather than four quicker beats. Now if I switch into a strum that has something on two, that makes me tap on two.
Yeah.
But if I leave two out, now I find myself tapping the half notes, right? So
Yeah.
that's the effect we're looking for here, is this cut time feel. But that doesn't mean you have to do exactly this: down, rest, down, down, up. Particularly because in this song we end up with two measures of each chord for a while.
Yeah.
And as long as I establish that in the first measure, like of G, nothing on two, in the second measure I could have a lot of action, almost like a little drum roll into the next measure. Hear how that was so much more varied than
Yeah.
just what was going on, and I made the second measure of a chord busier.
And so the second measure of each chord you were doing that on.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you went from something like
Yeah,
that.
perfect.
Oop, what, that one. Missed that.
Perfect. Yeah.
So this comes all the way back and just ends on A there.
Oh, um, it goes back to the other section. It goes back to the D section, back to the finger picking.
Okay. Oh, then it okay. Okay. Then it goes.
Right.
but in terms of the whole thing resolves,
The song doesn't really end. This
how does it?
blends into the next song, into Eclipse, um, where so we come out of this. Oh, one quick disclaimer. There actually is no finger picking in this song. I made this up to sound like what's happening on the record. What David
Yeah.
Gilmour's doing is actually just picking out the high notes. Sorry. But our finger picking pattern puts those notes, right in the. I mean, this sounds great. It is.
Right, it should be. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, um, this is the last. So the last piece of this medley, it goes into this other tune that it's in 3/4 or 6/8 time. How? Yeah, it's basically 6/8. All that you say, do 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 do. So it blends right into this descending bass thing with D, then with C in the bass. I don't think it's a full C chord. I have to go back and listen now. And then to B flat and A. So we've got this sequence of 4 chords with the bass descending from D to C in the bass to a B flat and A.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then they finally finish. Sun is eclipsed by the moon, and it comes home to D. So the whole thing's got to end on D one way or another. If you're just going to end the song after the A, you have the E minor A, and you can just strum a D chord and end it.
Okay.
Okay, because all of that, especially those last 4 chords, the G, B minor, E minor, A, all reestablished kind of the key of D, because those are all chords in the key
Yeah.
of D, and A is chord 5.
Right.
That all makes it all come. You got to come home to D in this case.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what. Yeah, that's what I was. That was my question. Actually, was
Yeah.
how does it just? I mean, I guess yeah. Hearing it in context in the album, like you get that. Okay. Um, well, I think I'm gonna just keep this as a project here while I'm working on.
I think that's really good because we could really get a lot more precise with your right hand.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay. Okay.
Yeah. What else have you been working on?
Well, I just continued to wish you were here. I was kind of looking for something in the strumming variety, just that would be kind of complementary to this.
Yeah.
What do you anything come to mind?
Did we work on Ripple?
Ripple, yeah, we did that a long time ago, actually.
Okay. Um, let's see, because remember what we were picking out the melody with the pick as we were kind of like strumming through the chords in that one.
I
Remember that?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Remind me what that sounds like.
oh,
I
did
think
we
I'll
get?
just, yeah, yeah. I think I'll just pick that up again.
Okay, because yeah, I think usually when I have people try that, um, it's difficult and so we kind of abandon it, not abandon it, but we kind of get as far as we can with it for a little while, then usually take a break, and
Yeah.
then like it might be time to come back and look at it again.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
did we do Tell Me Why, Neil Young? That's this one.
I got to do that slow.
Yeah. Nice.
So I guess the answer is yes.
Yeah. You know what? One chord at the last chord is not C, it's E minor. After the B minor.
Oh, after the B minor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Here. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That sounds much better.
Much better. Yeah. Wow. That sounds really good. That's good. You keep that in pretty good shape. That's cool.
Okay. Well, I remembered it.
Yeah.
And there's okay. So I'm gonna pick up Ripple again. And this that there's also something that we did. Some Neil Young picking song that
Old Man.
it's up here.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Old Man, which opened with or it could have been I'm a Child. Um, so that's it.
Could have been Oh Man. I don't remember I'm a Child, but that's intriguing what you're doing there. So
Okay, so Old Man opens up like a D,
yeah,
but with the first string open
yeah.
and 3 frets higher, up at the fifth fret. And you hear it's a hammer on the third string.
Hammer on, yeah.
Start with it off. Yeah. So there's a bunch of hammer-ons in there on the third string, then lands on a D chord down here. And then it goes so, and then he's got very similar stuff to Tell Me Why. Oh man, look at my life. 24 and there's so much more. So it's very similar to those. If we
Yeah, okay. Okay. I'll pull it out.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one. And did we do I've Just Seen a Face, Beatles? It's kind
Yeah.
of bluegrassy, right? It's this I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. She's just the girl for me. I want all the world to see we've met. And this little part. Na, 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 na. So
Yeah.
it's all kind. Those are all kind of in a similar.
Yeah. And there's something else that uses that same pattern as I've just seen a face. something, I mean, really similar to that.
Yeah. Um,
Well,
yeah, because what's going on in that is a hammer on the second bass note, right? And you would do the same thing on E minor, where it'd be the sixth, and then hammering on the fifth as the second bass note. So that yeah, so that's a
oh,
little.
oh yeah, and have to get the up in there.
Yep,
Yeah, I
get
can.
it's feeling a little stiff there.
I hear the hole. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good one.
Okay. Well, I think. Okay, I got enough to.
Okay, enough to dabble with for another week.
I can dabble with that. Yeah, and I think I'm next week. I'm here. Yeah. Next week is just a regular week. So are we